welcome back to more Farm 6, the Binding Blades. So yeah, last time we beat all of the Ilya route, so now it's time for me to talk about the Sacae route. Unfortunately, I have no experience of playing it because even though I've played this game 4 times, all of my playthroughs have been on Ilya. Maybe because I do enjoy training the Pegasus Knights a lot, especially Shanna. But anyways, our first chapter is chapter 17a, or as I'm just going to refer to it, Sacae chapter 17, the Bishop's Teachings. So this map's Fog of War. Sacae unfortunately gets one more Fog of War map when compared to Ilya, which is very unfortunate, and it's a quite different map from the other chapter 17. So one of the main gimmicks of this map is that there is village number 2. It's very hard to actually reach that because there's a lot of resistance in the form of 2 long ballistas as well as a bolting. And then yeah, wyverns, and there's gonna be thieves trying to destroy the village too. So yeah, you've got your work cut out to try and get to village number 2, and it contains eclipse. But if you really want that village, you're gonna have to try very hard to reach it. Delphi shields, if you're using a flyer, Delphi shield's a must, so you don't take effort damage on the long ballista, and a barrier can help against the bolting siege. And or you could of course use a torch, of course, light up where the thief is, and then kill him before you can reach the village. That's also a good way of doing that. Be careful of enemy wyverns too, trying to block your progress to the village as well. But yeah, lots of hard work for an eclipse, but it is one of the main challenges this map's going to give you. The other village is much easier to get to, and there's also an arena next to it, and that arena is again the last one in the game. Although, unlike Ilya, there isn't one in chapter 20, but that's fine because that chapter has a time limit. The shop sells silver weapons, so you can stock up on those. The killer weapons are next map, so it's a little bit different there. And yeah, the village, just like in the other chapter 17, in Ilya it's a Tina staff, and that's like a in-between between a heal and mend staff, basically. Bottom path, let's talk about that too. Lots of nomads. As you would expect from Sacae, there's a lot of nomads, and this is the main reason why people find the Sacae harder. The nomads are a lot more tricky to kill. The main reason is their speed and also the weapon of choice. So basically, all the nomads on this map have short bows, even the nomad troopers, and most of them average around, the regular nomads average around 12 speed. So you need 16 speed to double them because short bow only weighs 3, so they're not getting weighed down at all. Short bows also have a tiny bit of crit too, so there's a chance that they'll get lucky and then score some extra damage. Luckily short bow has low might, which is supposed to be like the compensation. They're not going to damage really high defense units, which is good. This is where Douglas will really shine, especially next map. The nomad troopers are a bit stronger. They have 15 speed on average, and they also come with steel swords, so they can actually kind of hurt, and yeah, very annoying to double. You need 19 AS to double, and with 1-2 range, that's not very easy. Like, because yeah, the pegs are going to have trouble doing that because they're going to get weighed down by javelins. And yeah, hitting them too is kind of difficult too because of course high speed means higher blades. So yeah, that's why nomads are like not well liked at all as enemies in Ilya. So other enemies are of 2 particular note, other than of course the bolting, the 2 long ballista, and I think it's long ballista, I'm not so sure. But yeah, I haven't played this one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's long ballista, and yeah. So we talked about the major threats, then we can go on and talk about the boss, who is Ocado, just like the other chapter 17, although this time he has a silver lance. I'm not sure if his other, instead of silver axe, I'm not so sure if his other stats are different. I'll probably have, probably in editing I'll have a little look. But yeah, once again, he's not too bad. Horsehair can do him in. Horsehair does have pretty decent accuracy as well. An axe user might be good because of weapon triangle, but yeah, the accuracy on axes isn't very good to begin with. So, as for reinforcements, turn 3, 6, and 9 have thief reinforcements from the other fort. So, but if you take care of those, they won't be able to destroy the village. Turn 6 to 8 has cavaliers from the fort close to the start. They also repeat on turn 16 to 20 if you're playing on hard mode. And then finally turn 12 to 15, 2 nomads from 2 other forts, and maybe they start on turn 11 on hard mode. It's kind of hard to tell because yeah, it's fog. I don't know why that's not fog. I mean, it's nighttime, but I feel like that's kind of a mean thing. Oh yeah, overall this map, pretty basic. Well, except for that rush to the village. But yeah, if you bring like an extremely strong flyer, like a really well-trained Melody, much better than my playthrough, she could do fine. And also giving her the barrier will be nice. My Shanna might be able to do well too, especially on that upper path. Of course, she'll struggle against the nomads. She would struggle against the nomads, I should say. But she doesn't need to go the bottom path. We can use like other units. I could have used like other units too. Sophia might have been not too bad against the nomads too. She can't double them, but at least she can Nosferatu to tank them a little bit. So yeah, that's chapter 17 really. There's not too much to say about this map. The next map though, oh boy, chapter 18. Let's get on to that. Onwards to chapter 18, the laws of Sacae. And this map's kind of strange because all the houses you can visit, they talk about, well, the laws of Sacae. And speaking of the name of this map too, it's also the name of Lynn's personal A skill in a legendary film, the laws of Sacae, of course. So anyway, this map is definitely what a lot of people think of when they think of the Sacae route. A big open field with lots of enemies and lots of nomads who enjoy the big long field to accentuate their really long threat range, really huge threat range. Because of course, all of them are 2 range and all of them have good movement. So yeah. And there's not much terrain to hide in, although the terrain can be used to maybe take on the nomads a bit easier, although they can also make use of the terrain like near the river, so yeah, not the greatest. So the main gimmick of this map, let's go on to that first, is the ring of houses near the boss monkey. I don't even know how you're supposed to pronounce that, but yeah, that's what it looks like, so that's what we're gonna go with. Basically, as soon as you enter it, you will spring monkey's trap. Basically, randomly, out of all the houses surrounding the boss, a nomad or nomad trooper can spawn. And that is extremely bad, especially if you have a frail unit around there, like maybe an untrained Roy. He can get picked off kind of easily. Especially because, once again, the nomads are fast. They're just as fast as last time, and yeah, that's normal mode I'm speaking of too. Imagine how fast they're on hard. They probably reach close to 20 speed. And again, they don't get weighed down because short bows don't weigh anything. So, yeah, seizing is quite difficult. To make it a bit easier, you want to block off as many houses as you possibly can when you're about to reach it, so then less chance of a nomad spawning and less chance of them killing someone. Other enemies are kind of threatening too. The Myrmidons on this map tend to have like some pretty dangerous weapons. So Killing Edges, Lance Reavers, Armor Slayers, so be careful. There's even a Wyvern Lord to the right there. And yeah, the Wyverns also have some dangerous weapons. I think the Wyvern Lord is an Axe Reaver, so just be careful of that. And I think a Wyvern reinforces a Horsehair, so be careful. And then there's a Physic Druid Nid Monkey as well, and he has a Eclipse and a Physic. And then all the Nomad Troopers again have short bow, steel sword, and then all the regular Nomads have short bow. So yeah. So yeah, that's the main go of the map. Other things about this map too. The house, or not the house, the armory sells killer weapons, so that's a good way to stock up on those. And then the shop has physic stars and restore, so definitely consider getting physic. It's really useful, just like it was on the Ilya route, to buy them. And you will get Nime at some point, although it's a bit later than on Ilya. So yeah, best way to handle this map, again, high defense units are extremely good. The Delphi Shield Melody is probably the best answer, but Douglas can also be really good. He doesn't really care about the nomads too much. He's gonna have trouble killing them, but he will be able to tank them really well thanks to 20 base defense. He'll need to be careful about the mages and also the Armor Slayer Myrmidon, but other than that, I think he'll do actually pretty good on this map. I did hear from my brother that on hard mode he did use Douglas a bit to help out against the Nomads, so it must have been quite good. But yeah, like I said, Melody, she has 1-2 range with the Delphi shield, she won't take effective damage, and then that means that most of the arrows are going to plink off her. So yeah, she's probably your best bet. But any flyer that's well trained, like maybe my Shannon for example, might be able to get the job done. But again, the pegs might have trouble doubling with a jab and a cut because it weighs them down a lot. So consider that. Mages could also be good, but of course, if they don't have good defense, then yeah, there's a chance that they could get unlucky, get hit a lot, die. So yeah, not the greatest. Percival is also good, I should mention. Because, you know, his base stats are incredible, and he doesn't get weighed down that much by jab and Zeeper. So he's also great. Consider using him if you're struggling. And of course, to get to Sacae, you need to train the Nomads anyway, and they could also be decent Nomad options as well. It's just that they don't really have the best defense. They are fast at least, and they may be able to get the double. As for the other reinforcements, other than the house reinforcements that I talked about with Monkey, we have turn 10, 15, and 22 Nomads, and 1 Nomad Trooper from the bottom left part of the map, then turn 12, 17, 22, 2 Nomads from the bottom right part, and 1 Nomad in the center of the bottom of the map. So yeah, so basically turn 10, 15, 20, some Nomads on the left of the map, as well as a Nomad Trooper, and then turn 12, 17, 22, some Nomads on the right, and a Nomad Trooper in the middle. So yeah, you probably want to seize this map quickly. And then finally, some Wyverns at the top right on turn 13 and 23. So yeah, there's a lot of reinforcements on this map. That also means a lot of EXP too. Sacae has a lot more enemies to fight, so you actually get more XP here. But again, the enemies are stronger, so or more difficult to take down, because yeah, remember those pegs? Remember like the one in chapter 70 that have 1 AS? Yeah, you're not gonna find enemies like that in Sacae, which is why it's considered much harder. Anyway, as for our favorite boss, well, one of my favorite bosses, Monkey, and that's maybe because of his boss dialogue that that me and my brother like to meme about, which is, "That's it, closer." Anyway, he's actually quite a monster. He has both a brave bow and a brave sword. Like, yeah. And 20 speed on normal mode is no joke either. So he does probably get weighed down. I'll probably calculate his actual AS in editing. But yeah, he is a monster boss. And yeah, you're gonna probably need your best units to take him on. And also, he has pretty good evade too, because he is on a fort or gate. I'm not so sure what terrain. But yeah, he's not an easy boss to take down. And similar to Sigun in Ilya, he has boss quote with the Nomad, so Su and Shin. So consider getting that if you want. So yeah, overall, Chapter 18 Lost Sacae, this map, yeah, this is definitely peak Ilya gameplay, I guess you could say. Lots of Nomads, big open field, kind of bad reinforcements in the middle. Some of the worst reinforcements in the game probably, because they're random and also they're Nomads. And those are very strong. So yeah, that's really it for Chapter 18. Let's go onwards to Chapter 19. Next up on the roster, Chapter 19 of Sacae, Battle in Vulgar. So, again, we have a big open space before the town itself. First off, let's talk about the door. It doesn't open, it cannot be opened with door key, lockpick, or unlock. You'll need to wait for turn 12 for the enemies to open it, I believe. From what I can tell. So yeah, how we're entering the city is going to be from the left and right for the cracked walls. But they're being guarded by some Wyverns as well as some Nomads. And again, the Nomads are pretty similar to last time. Still really hard to double, and still have short bows. So yeah, and the Wyverns are no slouch either, because the Wyvern Lord has a Silver Lance, and one of the Wyvern Riders has a Killer Lance, so yeah, kill them on a player phase probably, they're gonna hurt a lot. Once you get into the city though, actually there's one more threat before you enter the city, the two sages. One has a sleep staff, and the other has a silent staff, so you're gonna want to deal with that. With Restore, of course. Silence might not be the best way to deal with them because they're quite far away, and they probably have really good res. So, yeah. once you get past the restore, once you get past sleep and silence, and get your way into sea, things do become a bit more simplified, of course. But we do have a lot of houses. The red houses contain items, so you'll want to visit them. House number 1 has a worm slayer, which can be nice at killing the wyverns off. House number 2 has an energy ring, which is very valuable indeed. House 3 has a goddess icon. House 4 has a woodal, and yeah, woodal might be nice to the boss, who we'll go over in a bit. And then finally a longbow in house 5. So yeah, similar item. I think you'll get similar items between the 2 routes, so don't think about, don't go to one route just because you think it has better items. You'll eventually get all the items in both routes, I do believe. And yeah, well, even though I said that most of the threats are gone once you enter the sea, there's still some pretty threatening enemies. Enemy sword masters. Holy crit bonus, 1 is a killing edge, so yeah, you need careful with that. Lots of nomads still, so 1 to range is going to be very important. And yeah, and also reinforcements. Some of them come out of houses. Let's talk about those now. So turn 8, 4 wyverns from the bottom right part, and 4 nomads from the other side. And then turn 10, 15, and 22 wyverns from the same place in the previous ones at the borders. And then turn 13, 18, and 22 nomads from the same place from the previous ones. So yeah, lots of reinforcements from the outside, as well as on turn 15, 4 nomads that come out of the houses that are marked on the WD map. And in hard it seems like they repeat, but it's not super clear. And there's a shop on this map too, armory and shop. The armory once again sells silver weapons, so that could be very nice. And then the shop has some nice tokens like air caliber, so that could be interesting to buy. So yeah, once you get past all these really strong enemies and the status stars and some of the reinforcements, you're not out of the woods just yet. We have the boss himself, Kel or Gel. It changes depending on the translation you use. He is a swordmaster boss, and as you all know, swordmasters are dangerous enemies because they're 30 crit bonus. Luckily, it's a light brand. Here's the problem though, this guy has too much avoid. He has 23 speed on normal mode and 27 speed in hard mode. In hard mode, he's impossible to double. And he also has some luck, and he's standing on a gate. So this guy's avoid is through the roof. I'll probably show off what his avoid is on normal and hard. I'll need to calculate the normal mode. Avoidance, best way to kill this guy is probably from range. If you kill him from range, then at least he cannot crit you and he'll always do 10 damage. So he'll be easy to survive, but of course hitting him is another story. Yeah, then we're gonna need supports. Supports are gonna be extremely useful here. And high defense too if you want to attack him up close. But yeah, I'm not so sure how the best way to kill him is, because pretty much all the normal options like Percival, Melody, they're gonna struggle a lot because they're gonna have 40 hit on this guy most likely. So yeah, this guy's something alright. You can also try and get lucky with your own Swordmaster, but that can also end in tears very quickly. So yeah, this guy is probably the worst boss at Sacae, and yeah, probably a lot worse than what other boss you have to fight in Ilya as well, because at least those had some pretty easy ways to kill. But yeah, so that was the map. Not much else to say really. I will say I don't really like the idea of those house reinforcements, because yeah, if you don't know where they spawn, they can very easily surprise and kill someone. The wyverns do seem pretty strong, but yeah, you kill wyverns a lot in this game, so you should have some method of killing them pretty easily, like air caliber. And of course, you should have trained the nomads, so they should be good against the wyverns as well. And once again, nomads are annoying, but high defense can deal with them. Melody with the Delphi Shield can deal with them. So yeah, and then you don't really need to worry about the gate in the middle of the map as long as you are far away from it with some frail units. You can use it to get into the place quicker, but that's turn 12, so you might as well just break down the walls and get in through the sides. So yeah, that's chapter 19, and time for the grand finale. Well, kind of. We still have a guide map, of course. Chapter 20. And it's another Fog of War map, oh boy. So finally, we have chapter 20, the Silver Wolf. So, this map's Fog of War as well. I don't know why, but it is. It has a guiding requirement. You need to keep Sue, Shin, and Diane alive. Diane needs to be recruited. He starts as a green unit. And then you need to beat the map in under 25 turns. Fail to do so, and some bosses from the next map will spawn. On turn 25. So yeah, that's basically like a timer to tell you you messed up. So first off, this map has a lot of long-range threats. The two sages in the middle of the map have bolting, and the sage on the right has a berserk staff, and then finally there's two killer ballistas. So yeah, this map is kind of similar to 16X in that way, which is no fun at all. At least at the start of the step you get Nime. You get a chapter later than you do in Ilya, but she's still the same good old Nime. Nothing's changed about her, so that's good. She can still heal really well, she can even use warp. You'll need warp to get the red gem that's on the sage on the left, and then the Orion's bolt on the archer that's on the ballista. So yeah. And yeah, she does have A-rank stars, she can obviously use that base. There's also a lot of warriors, some of them have dangerous weapons. I think one is a killer axe, there's still some more sword mods, I think one has like a Wu Dao. So yeah, be careful with the high crit rate of course. And yeah, there's also a lot of doors and chests, so make sure you bring at least one thief. Two can also be useful because yeah, there's a lot of stealable items. Now let's go on to another hot topic I guess. Turn 3 I believe is when Diane spawns. And yeah, like I said, he's a green unit. Actually it's turn 2, it says. So yeah, let's talk about Diane. Now, even though I wasn't very fond of what they did with Judo, but at least Diane doesn't get the short end of the stick. Diane has really decent base stats. 14 strength and 20 speed is very respectable. Actually comparing very well to the Sue in my current playthrough, I believe. His bulk isn't too bad either. He also has really good weapon ranks, unlike Juno. A-rank bows, so he can use silver bows at base, killer bows as well, so wyverns are no problem to him whatsoever. And chapter 21 has lots of them, so he's actually extremely good on that map because of that. And then also C-rank swords is just icing on the cake. That allows him to use killing edges at base, and those are very nice. So, yeah, I think I haven't used Diane at all because, yeah, like I said, I haven't gone to Sacae, but he seems like a really competent pre-promoted unit. And yeah, his class is also pretty decent in this game. Mounted, can use bows to kill wyverns. Very, very good, solid unit. As for growth rates, he is an old man, so they're kind of low. He has 55 HP, 20 strength, 20 skill, 15 speed, 20 luck, 10 defense, 10 res. So yeah, nothing too spectacular in terms of growth rates, but his base stats are extremely solid. This guy's legit a pretty good unit. And yeah, being the father of Wrath from FE7, that's probably no surprise there. So yeah, very cool unit. Wish I could use him more, but yeah, I'll need to go to Sacae at some point. I probably should because yeah, even though yeah, this route does have its like moments, I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world. But anyway, back to the map itself. As for the other reinforcements, turn 12, a thief will spawn from the stairs. And that thief can also be Calf. I didn't actually mention this at all, but if you fail to recruit Calf at the earliest opportunity, like I did, she'll reappear in some other maps. And there isn't really a reason to recruit her at a later point, unless I think I've heard rumors that in Project Ember, if you recruit her late, she'll get like a personal weapon or something. That sounds pretty neat. Anyway, this is normal FE6, let's get back to that. As for the chests, they're all in one room this time. We have a blue gem in chest 1, Axe Reaver in chest 2, Guiding Ring in chest 3, Nosferatu in chest 4, and Sleep in chest 5, Jokershit in chest 6. And then finally, Rot, who I believe is the same as Ilya. He has a spear and he can steal his red gem. You can't triangle check and kill him like I did in my playthrough, but oh well. Diane might be able to do decently well. Although, yeah, Diane's probably better at just killing regular enemies as well as flying units. But yeah, once you get past the bolting and the berserk, this map does become a lot more easier. As long as you use the right units to kill the right units, like sending a high defense unit for the Solar Master or killing the Solar Master in range, using maybe a longbow to kill off the other longbow enemies, like those snipers at the top of the map, yeah, you should be fine. And yeah, if you beat it under 25 turns, you'll get your guidance, and that isn't too bad. 25 turns is a lot. And with high movement units, you should be able to get to the middle, no problem. It's just, yeah, like I said, the early part is the hard part. 2 boltings, it can spell really bad things for Roy if he's untrained. Or your thief, because you'll need a thief. Berserk can also be a problem, but you got Nime, so you can like give her a restore, then you'll be good on that front. There is only 1 status stuff on this map, so that's at least good. So yeah, that's really it. Pretty much said everything I had to about Chapter 20, but we have Chapter 20X now, or Sacae, and that map is something, right? So let's get on to it. So, Chapter 20X in Sacae, oh boy. So, this map, unlike the one in Ilya, is a lot more, I don't know what the right word is, but anyway. This map is something, alright? So, apparently Monkey decided that he was going to clone himself and make 6 copies of himself. Yeah, this map has 6 bosses. Let's talk about them first. The biggest threats are the 3 druids. They all bring the trifecta of Berserk, Silence, and Sleep. So, bring lots of restore on this map. Otherwise, you're not gonna have a fun time with, otherwise, yeah, you're not gonna have a fun time dealing with status, of course. So we'll go over where each one is. So first druid is Brakul. He is the dude with the berserk, and he is on the right of the map. Then there's Chan. He has a silent staff, and he's at the bottom of the map. And then finally, Marl, he has the sleep staff, and he is on the left of the map. The Nomad Trooper bosses, they're also kind of threatening. They have some pretty... all of them are short bows, all of them are really fast, at 21 speed on normal mode, which is a lot. They're going to be very hard to double. You'll need 25 speed to equip the short bow. And I don't know if the other weapons weigh them down. Kadoka comes along with a Lance Reaver, Forul with a silver sword, and then finally Kabul with a killing edge. So yeah, all these bosses are very annoying, and of course they're staying on the gate, so they're gonna have extra evasion too, on top of the really high speed that gives them lots of evasion. So yeah, a lot of enemies on the start of the map are no slouch either. Again, Nomad Troopers are everywhere, and Nomads with their short bows, and they're still as fast as ever. And yeah, pretty much the same thing as before, and pretty much similar weapons as well. Short bow, steel sword. And there's also some Wyvern Lords too. Kind of random considering that you're supposed to be taking down the remnants of the Juke clan. I didn't mention that. I guess I can do that in the conclusion. But anyway, they have silver lances, so yeah, pick up those Wyvern Lords, especially if you get statused. Because yeah, they can definitely pick up a status unit very easily. Anyway, then the main gimmick of the map happens. So this map actually doesn't have regular reinforcements. Instead, the gimmick of this map has something to do with how the reinforcements spawn. So basically, you may notice, where is the seize point? This map has 6 bosses for good reason. Basically, each place where the boss is a seize point. The problem is that all but one is trapped. So if you seize a trapped reinforcement spawn, then you're greeted by 2 shamans, 2 myrmidons, and 2 nomads next to the gate that's trapped. And yeah, that's not going to be good for Roy, especially if he's untrained. So make sure, whatever you do, put as many units as you can near where Roy seizes so that you can eliminate the enemies before they're able to kill Roy. So yeah. As long as you do that, then this map's the main gimmick isn't too bad, but I kind of find it kind of, I don't know, I don't really like this gimmick. It's very RNG, but yeah. Like I said, all but one isn't trapped, and the one that isn't trapped will end the map. And then you'll get your prize, which is the mulligan, which I'll go over in chapter 21. But it's a really good S rank though. That's all you really need to know at this point. So, yeah. Oh god. So yeah, I don't know if I call this the most annoying map in the game. I thought it was for a little bit, but looking at it, it's not too bad. It's just that there's 3 status stars, and also the Caesar's random. So yeah, I think it definitely deserves to be considered one of the more annoying maps in the game. Chapter 14 is still really annoying. Also, this map also splits up your forces too, which can make dealing with the sleep, berserk, and silence really annoying. So yeah, kind of probably one of the more difficult Gaina maps, to be honest, because most of the Gaina maps aren't too bad because they don't have reinforcements, so you can play them at pretty slow pace. This one kind of not, because yeah, there's so many enemies at the start of the map. A lot of them can reach your group very quickly, so... And yeah, as always, use your anti-nomad tactics. Melody with the Devi Shield, Douglas with his high defense, any other Armor Knight. Percival's pretty good too. Do all that, and you should be able to get through no problem. And if you can prepare for the potential reinforcements that come out where the bosses are, then you'll be good. The bosses themselves, like I said, are very challenging, but if your boss killer is a super fast unit like a Sword Master, you might be able to get through them. And then you can use a barrier stuff against the druid bosses to make them a little bit easier, because they do have lots of magic. And yeah, careful positioning can also help with dealing with the boss's status stuffs as well. But they do have lots of range. At least they don't move, so keep that in mind. And remember that the formula is magic divided by 2 plus 5. Then you'll be able to calculate the range of the bosses. So, yeah. So, I guess that's it for the Sacae route. So yeah, what do I think overall? I think the plot is pretty interesting for Sacae. Basically, kind of similar to Ilya, we have the Dajuk clan. The Dajuk clan is led by Monkey, that guy. And he basically betrayed the Silver Wolves clan, which I believe is called the Kutala. That's probably what it's called in FE7, but anyway. And that's basically, and they betrayed them because they wanted Bern on their side, because you know, Bern is a powerful nation, considering that they conquered the Truri as well. And yeah, you'll also see a lot of Brunya being talked about, because yeah, she was in charge of the invasion of Sacae, with Murdoch being in charge of the invasion of Ilya. So yeah, so that's some of the main story beats. The stuff about Zephiel and Nime with the dragons, that will be in this route as well, so you won't miss out on those conversations. And yeah, I think that Dian is a really cool recruitable unit. I really wish Juno could have been a lot better. I could have been like on par with him, but yeah, that's the way it goes, I guess. But yeah, despite the high difficulty of this map is probably what turned me off initially, and also the fact that I really love using the Pegasus Knights. So that naturally just gets you to Ilya. But yeah, as I explained, there's definitely a good amount of ways to deal with these nomads. On hard mode, they're gonna be threatening no matter what you do. But at least on normal mode, there are some kind of hard counters. And yeah, and like with a lot of FE6, lots of siege terms on some maps and lots of status as well. So yeah. And yeah, Ilya also had its fair share of that too, so yeah. So overall, I say I'd probably like Ilya more visually too. I think the snow is really cool, but Sacae definitely has its own charm. I guess another thing that would have made people gravitate to this route maybe more is if Lyn was present maybe. But I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Because yeah, I do like it when FE6 isn't like, you know... I feel like they should just shoehorn FE7 stuff into FE6 if they remake it without a good reason, basically. So yeah, that's really all I got to say, really. Ilya's... Go to Ilya if you want to have an easier time. Go to Sacae if you don't mind a bit of a challenge. And don't mind dealing with lots of bows and lots of nomads. So yeah, next time will be chapter 21. And that's another infamous map, like I said. Full of lots and lots of wyverns. But hey, if you crew Dian, he'll be able to help you out a lot there. So anyway, I'll see you guys then.